People are always asking me, Dr. Ann, how much physical activity or exercise is enough? And the first thing I share with them is what I'm going to share with you, and that is that we now know, unequivocally, irrefutably, that movement is required for life. It's your choice whether or not you do it. But unless you engage in a certain sort of threshold amount of physical activity, you are virtually guaranteed to lose your health. For a long time, we could not tell you with 100% scientific accuracy what is this this sort of threshold amount. But now we can. And in fact, the Department of Health and Human Services recently released the most definitive and comprehensive physical activity guidelines. It was actually released in October of 2008. And to make these recommendations, they reviewed all of the data. So it was the most sort of thorough and most up-to-date review of the science to date. And here is what the guidelines tell us. So this is what you're supposed to do. Now, this is not Dr. Ann talking. This is all these scientists that reviewed all these studies. Children and adolescents require 1 hour or more of moderate to vigorous aerobic activity daily, to include vigorous activity at least 3 days a week. Examples of moderate aerobic activity would be brisk walking. Vigorous aerobic activities are like jogging, running, playing basketball, playing soccer. Okay? What about adults? Adults, at least 30 minutes of moderate aerobic activity. Again, that's like brisk walking, 5 days a week, or 45 minutes of vigorous aerobic activity 3 days a week. But as the optimum, the very best thing for you to do to be as healthy as possible is to strive for moderate aerobic activity 5 hours a week, or vigorous aerobic activity 2.5 hours a week, along with resistance activity. That's like, lifting weights, free weights, yoga, Pilates, bands. So that's the muscle strengthening activity at least 2 days a week. And for older adults, the recommendations are the same as above, with the exception, within their physical capacity. So do as above if you're an older adult within the limits of your physical capacity. And of course, anyone with a chronic health condition should seek the guidance of a qualified healthcare provider. And lastly, what about pregnant women? This is very important. A lot of people are not aware of this. Healthy pregnant women require or should be getting at least 3.5 hours of moderate aerobic activity a week through the time of delivery. Yes, you can walk briskly up until the day you have your baby, swim laps, do low-impact aerobics, all sorts of things. Women like me who habitually engage in vigorous aerobic activity prior to pregnancy can continue this level of activity through delivery as long as they remain healthy and discuss with their healthcare provider the need for possible adjustments over time. So I hope that gives you some reliable guidance. Know this, fitness is free, but at the same time, priceless. So you're the only one that can make you healthy. Please take charge of your health. Make sure you move. For ICU, this is Dr. Ann.